everybody, it's your man Player T, that's me, Hollywood in the Hood, doing it really big. I'm right here at a Jumpstart event, Core City, Cleveland Impact Program, an entrepreneurial showcase. I'm right here with Chris Smith of Jumpstart Incorporated. How you doing, Chris?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Man, fantastic. This is a wonderful event you guys got going on here. Can you give us the gist behind it?
Yeah, so essentially entrepreneurs going through our 12-week program, working on their overall growth strategy. So they focus on certain things in their business like sales funnel, go-to-market strategy, overall financials as well. And then in the end, they learn how to pitch that overall concept, their business, in order to get some cash at the end. So we work with them through a whole gamut of things, and they end up, really at the end, trying to get some cash. So it's about $10,000 on the line, and it's really exciting seeing what they produce at the end.
Well, you're like a gatekeeper. You deal with a lot of these entrepreneurs when they first come in at Jumpstart. To see them growing, to mature, to get to this point, how does that make you feel?
It feels great. I mean, it's nothing better than seeing an individual that's committed to learning about how to grow their business and seeing them put all that sweat and energy into it. They're taking advice from some of the great advisors that we have at Jumpstart, implementing those strategies, and then in the end, you see this finished project that's going to be their pitch, and that's what we're going to see tonight.
I'm right here with a judge right here, Angela Flowers. Now, Angela has a unique part in this where she's a Jumpstart Incorporated alumni who's been through the process. So can you speak to that? You've been through the process, and what can these great people expect?
Yes, so going through the process, it was a 12-week program, and we met for 2 hours every week. We were doing business development and learning how to actually craft the pitch and just figuring out what the audience was. And so tonight, what you're going to expect from the actual competitors, they're going to come out and talk a little bit about their business, but then focus a lot on how they're going to grow, how they're going to make money, and then what they're going to use the investment for. And they're actually competing for $10,000 tonight.
Now, when you went through the process, you said it was a 12-week process.
Yes.
As you were going through it, were you constantly gaining, confidence in what you were doing?
Yes, so each week it focused on a different theme. So we talked about marketing, we talked about financials, and so it actually helped you prepare and to build a solid business plan to be able to actually get up in front of investors to pitch, to know what to ask for, but also just to know your business in depth.
Player T, that's me, Hollywood in the Hood. I'm doing it really big. I'm right here at a Jumpstart Incorporated event, the Core City Cleveland Impact Program, the Entrepreneur Showcase. I'm right here with one of the prestigious judges right here. How you doing, Mr. Picarelli? How you doing?
Doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. This is a really great event. What are you looking for in your own mind as these participants go after this $10,000? What are you looking for in your own mind?
Well, I think this is a fantastic event. All 5 companies are coming here. They're trying to show what their business is all about, from soup to nuts, as far as what they're looking to do. And what's great about it, everything that they do is going to affect, what happens in the city of Cleveland as far as the core businesses. So it's actually a privilege for all of them to be here, and I'm just looking to see what they're able to bring and what they're able to do for everyone here and have some fun with it.
Now, can you say a few words to the persons that didn't win the big prize? Can you give them words of encouragement? You've been through the business process.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give them some words of encouragement?
Of course. So you never want to let others dictate anything that you want to accomplish. It's all about making sure that you want to make a difference in what you do with your business. So just stay, on track and being able to just stick to what you believe in your processes, and things will work out very well for you.
Jumpstart is very proud to have great sponsors in the community that support efforts of entrepreneurship in our community. KeyBank, through their business boost and build program, empowered by Jumpstart. We thank KeyBank for their efforts and their support. Certainly the City of Cleveland has been instrumental in the Core City program and its activities here in Cleveland, and we appreciate them. And of course we have a wonderful philanthropic community here in Cleveland, and the support of an organization like the Cleveland Foundation is a great representation of that. So we'd like to thank them as sponsors of the program that we're doing here. So what is the mission that Jumpstart is attempting to achieve as it relates to entrepreneurship? Well, Jumpstart is about unlocking the full potential of diverse and ambitious entrepreneurs to economically transform entire communities. I'm so proud of this mission because it involves the fact that small businesses engaged in our community can have the kind of impact, if given the right resources and tools, can have the kind of impact on our community to drive communities to a whole nother level, if you will, of improvement. We believe, and we certainly have seen examples of this, that small businesses that are healthy and wealthy in our community tend to hire, they tend to be involved in their community, they tend to be engaged with the activities and influence their communities, and they give back to their communities. They just need support to help them get to that healthy and wealthy stage. So unlocking this full potential of diverse and ambitious entrepreneurs to economically transform entire communities is extremely important, and it's something that I'm very proud of, and I know all the people who work at Jumpstart are very proud of the fact that we have this mission in doing this real important work in our community. So what is our Core City program? This is part of that work that we talk about. It's a program basically that focuses on our non-tech entrepreneurs who are involved in our community on a daily basis and driving entrepreneurship in the community. The program itself does this in 4 different ways. Advisory services, which involve one-on-one, one-to-many, and business growth collaborative activities with other organizations here in Cleveland. We do it through cohort-based programs like the Impact program that you're seeing tonight. Many of you may also be familiar with Chain Reaction, which is another program and activity that Jumpstart, along with other partners, is involved in. And then what we call deep dive workshops, where we bring in entrepreneurs to get engaged with specific topics that will help them develop and grow their businesses to another level. We also have a mentoring program where we get individuals from the community who have been there and done that to come back and to impact and have relationships with entrepreneurs to help them along with go through their journey to grow and develop their businesses by advising them and giving them counsel as they go through their day-to-day activities. And then, of course, pitch contests, open mic contests. Of course, this is the Impact program, which has a pitch component to it as well. Another way for entrepreneurs to develop their skills in order to get customers, in order to get the capital they need from banks and others, in order to get capital from people who are potentially going to be equity partners with them. So the pitch contest is important for our entrepreneurs to be able to drive their business forward. And all of this is a part of our Core City program to help entrepreneurs move forward.
I wanted to just emphasize how this is one of our most exciting nights because we've worked so intensely and closely with these businesses over the last 12 weeks, and we've seen the progress they have made, and you're seeing the end result of that, but all the hard work that's gone into the last 12 weeks has been really impressive. So again, we thank you for your engagement, your participation, and your hard work. But I'm not going to talk much further because you all look like you won't present. So let's get to the presentation. Let's get to introducing the presenters tonight, and then I'll give you a little bit more on what they did to prepare for tonight, and then we'll start the evening's presentations. So the order of the presentations tonight are a company called Co-Creative, which has 3 partners in the company, Prashik Burton, Jason Garrett, and Cameron Kahn. Prashik will be the one presenting on behalf of Co-Creative tonight, and that'll be our first presentation. Dayron Henderson from Low Key Entertainment will be our second presenter of the night. Vicky and Steve Kotris from Cleveland Cookie Dough Company will be our third presentation, with Vicky presenting tonight and Steve on backup with the Q&A, right? With the Q&A on the CPA. See, that makes sense to me since you're a CPA, but there you go. Antonio Coleman with Game Speed Performance Academy will be our fourth presentation, and then we'll finish the evening with Ethan Holmes from Holmes Made Foods. A round of applause for the 5 presenters.
Hello, my name is Prashik Burton, and I am co-owner of Co-Creative. The journey of Co-Creative started with me on a bus with a phone. I was a broke single mother, and in need of inspiration, I began tweeting out messages of power, motivation, and inspiration from the seats of public transportation while I was en route back and forth to my college classes. I wanted to reach other single mothers who were sharing in the same plight that I was in day and day out. My Twitter feed quickly caught the attention of Margaret Bernstein, the former editor of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. She noticed how I was able to reach a multitude of single mothers with just one tweet. So she decided to write an article about it. And that article started a trajectory of subsequent articles on how I was able to use social media to engage and influence positive change in the community day in and day out. A local government agency actually reached out to Margaret in hopes that she could convince me to come in and review their social media strategy and show them how I was able to reach the exact demographic that they were trying to reach for years. And it worked. I came and quickly reviewed their issue and immediately saw areas of opportunities that they had in their social media strategy to not only create awareness, but also engagement and growth in their company.
Friendshik, did I pronounce that correctly?
Friendshik, it's
Friendshik,
fine.
my apologies.
No, you're
My
fine.
apologies. First of all, can we give a round of applause a single mother with the backstory that she has? And maybe basically what she had in her hands was just her cell phone. That is impressive. And you know what? More power to you. And major congratulations to getting up to this point right now with the team that you have, the dream team. I know that you guys are working specifically with nonprofits and it says government entities. Can you be a little more specific? Because coming from a nonprofit world and understanding nonprofit worlds, the budgets are slim to none. And so the access to organizations and their access to actually paying for your services, price is everything. The quality, there's no questions asked, is great. We can see it automatically. We can see it on the presentation, the way you spoke very eloquently. We know it's there. But can you talk a little bit more about who your target market is and how you've gotten to them? And please.
So it depends, basically. We definitely specialize in nonprofits and government agencies, but we also study where the governor is allocating funding in the coming fiscal year. And so we found that there were 59,000 nonprofits that were receiving funding in state fiscal year in 2020, 2021. 24% of those are home visiting agencies and infant mortality agencies that specialize in those two areas. Both of those initiatives just so happen to be two of our biggest clients. And so what we're looking at is not just in the services that we offer, but then also how we can, that's why we did the study, to become evidence-based so that we can increase funding for them going forward when these strategies work. So when we're creating these campaigns, we are analyzing them and seeing if they're creating a correlation, maybe not a causation, but definitely a correlation between the strategies that we're using and then positive outcomes with the clients that they're able to help.
Well, in the last 7 years, as you see, which we've done 1,000 events, and we've been blessed to do over 2,000 events worldwide. What is entertainment? It's the action of providing or being provided with amusement and or enjoyment. In our company, we have 4 key thrusts, and we'll break things down just in 4 different stages. First is the first core service that I'm known for, which I've built, been doing this for 28 years, which is our DJ service. I know that hands down, inside and out. The second service, which is an entirely different division, is our photo booth arena. We have white photo booths, black photo booths, tall photo booths, short photo booths. If we don't have a photo booth, we'll buy that photo booth. When we can't buy it, we'll make that photo booth. If that photo booth is not available, it doesn't exist, all right? The third thrust is our event lighting, which you'll see on stage, and whatever color you may want your colors to be wedding to be blue, green, whatever it may be, red. We can do that with just a simple touch of a button. And the last will be our special effects, which I'll show you a little bit later. So we're known for that, where we're able to bring in clouds and indoor fireworks, and just anything that may overall enhance the environment that you may have at your wedding. Where I'm dressed like a penguin today, because this is where the majority of our revenue comes from. Where about 75% of our clients are either wedding related, they're clients that are getting married, about to get married, recently got married and decided to come back to us. So just for the purposes of this 12-minute slideshow, we're going to focus on our wedding industry growth. Our target clients that we go for are generally men and women between the ages of 26 and 33 years of age, with a minimum budget of at least $20,000 for their wedding. It's good to know that, because in 2018, local statistics say that there were slightly under 26,000 weddings in Northeast Ohio, and the average spend is $26,000. So our business model fits great within the Northeast Ohio area. How do we obtain our clients? Word of mouth is always the best business card. So we've been growing organically for 28 years simply by just performing well and word of mouth. And we want to be more intentional about our growth. We do make nice investments into bridal shows. So as long as it's a large bridal show and it's well attended with at least 500 to 1,000 attendees, we usually go into a bridal show. We try to over-market ourselves, so where one individual may have one booth, we'll come in and we'll buy two. If people are having 2 photo booths, we'll come in and we'll rent 4 different spaces. But whatever we do, we try to out-market ourselves then. Social media-wise, between myself and our company's page, we probably collectively have about 12,000 Instagram followers. And it's through our special effects, once we put those out there, they kind of go viral. So again, it has a natural organic growth. And the last, which is kind of self-explanatory, is search engine optimization. So when you go to the website and you say, hey, I would like a photo booth or wedding DJ, we want to be the first company that comes to mind, and we're searching for first page clicks.
Let's talk about prices, as far as what you charge. Also, you have the brick and mortar, so your expenses.
That's correct. Okay.
And then also why between ages 26 to 33? How do you come up with that?
You may have to remind me as I go through each question. The first one was?
The prices.
The pricing, our general pricing structure. There should be a pricing pamphlet that's right in front of you all that we might have passed out. We have 4 different package options. We made it really simple, and they're just based on the number of services that you're interested in. The first level, which is our silver level, that's just saying, hey, I want just DJ service. There's no magic in that. So the average individual, we've already realized, they make decisions based on the number of 3. They're going to pick a middle package, and there are some people that say they always want to get the top package. So our medium package, which is our gold package, which requires 2 services, which is DJ and photo booth, that gets you around like $1,400, $1,500 bucks, depending on which options you may choose inside of there. If you choose to go with our platinum package, that one can cap out at $19.99. And if you say, hey, I'm just going to be fancy, which a lot of clients do, that's about $23.99 as of this year. There will be changes that are coming in January. Part 2 of your question was again?
Expenses.
Oh, our expenses. You asked. So, when we put those up on the screen, this shows our gross sales for let's just focus on 2019 just because it's simple. Again, our gross sales for this year is at $340,000. Our fixed expenses, which would be our office and our utilities, is about $54,000 a year. Our employee and talent expenses is about $153,000 a year. We do invest $11,000 in marketing, so we don't take that lightly. That's our bridal show investments. That's our social media investments. That's our Google search investments. New equipment, we do buy new photo booths, new speakers, new sound, and we currently have 2 full-time employees as of right now, 2019. In 2020, we do plan on adding more, an additional full-time employee, which will help us manage the additional events which we'll be having, and another part-time person as well.
You talked a little bit about the potential in terms of your expansion of market. Can you talk a little bit, I know you, for the purposes of like keeping it simple, you really wanted to focus in on the wedding industry, but what other type of events do you guys host? Obviously you specialize, but how large is your potential market?
Okay. I guess there's no ceiling as far as potential client. If we can't do it, we have partners in which we can subcontract. We know the wedding industry inside and out. We know that there's a demand there. Are there special events? Absolutely. There are special events that happened the last 3 weekends that had attendees of about 1,000 people. We don't market that too often because there's just not enough of those to go year round. So do we do social functions, fundraisers? Absolutely. I know for Nikos, that's an event tomorrow. Guess who'll be the DJ? So we do local events. Again, we just focus on it, like you said, for the purpose of the presentation, where the bulk of our income comes from that, but we don't turn down anybody. If they can take a package and they will be there.
Cleveland Cookie Dough Company is a mobile bakery serving up small batch delicious cookie dough for all dessert lovers. Our dough mobile chip that you can see there in the middle of your screen brings dough to the masses and satisfies sweet tooths all over Northeast Ohio. We have a rotating menu of 8 different kinds of cookie dough, ice cream sundaes, even some baked cookie options. Our flavors include things like chocolate chip, s'more, salted caramel, and everything yummy in between. Our recipes are made without egg and use a heat-treated treated flour, which makes all of our recipes safe to eat. We produce everything from our shared kitchen space currently in the Clark-Fulton neighborhood, and in 2020 we plan to open our own storefront. While there are many desserts to pick from here in the Forest City, there are differentiators that certainly make us unique. While you can buy a donut from a food truck, you can even buy a cupcake from a food truck. We are the only food truck in the land that serves up edible cookie dough. We offer a variety of different catering options, including food truck on-sites, indoor dough bar setups, and even dough by the scoop options. We create unique flavors of cookie dough like peppermint mocha, candy corn, and even a bacon bourbon flavor that we did with another local business.
What has been your biggest threat to this point? Because you guys have been in business since 2018, have made major strides, but those first 3 years are usually the make it or break it. So what has been your biggest threat?
Oh, and our biggest, what was that?
Biggest threat.
Regret.
Right.
Stress. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. So you can see our parents are actually sitting in front of you, and they were like, "Wait, so do you bake it? What do you do with it?" So who would buy that? Well, and now some of them work for us. So you know, it's all full circle. And our biggest threat. Do you want to answer that question?
I think our biggest threat right now is just growing, having to bring in more people. Right now, me and Vicki have been doing most of the work ourselves, but being able to open up this spot in South Park Mall has been great exposure to us. We've had to hire a manager that's running that right now. So as we're here giving this presentation, we have people that are keeping the lights on. Stay at home. Cell phone hasn't ring yet.
Yeah, yeah. I think that is. It's creating systems, not growing too fast, too quick that we're not able to go back and set up that infrastructure to make us successful.
In 1997, I become a coach, and I am researching everything that I can to become a better coach about restoration, rehabilitation, making sure that my athletes do not get hurt, because I don't want them to get hurt, because I want them to perform at their best ability. So, in 1997, I began to start coaching, and then that was when I started my labor. That was my labor pains into my birth. So, in 1997, I'm training everyone that I can, doing everything I can. I'm doing this stuff for free. My parents said to me, "You need to be getting paid for this." So I'm thinking, like, how can I get paid for this? I'm working at Chrysler at the time, got a pretty good job, things like that. I said, you know what? I don't want to work anymore. I want to go full-time and coach, because I went to a presentation, and in the presentation they told me, they said that if you do the thing that you love, you'll never work another day in your life. That makes sense to me. He said something else that was very, very important. He said that somebody will pay you for your passion. I said, so who am I passionate about? What am I passionate about? I said, I'm passionate about coaching. I go to work that next day, and they say, we're offering a buyout. Work at Chrysler, we're offering a buyout, $100,000 if anybody will leave Chrysler and everything like that. Leave. I'm gone. I'm out of here. And so then I left Chrysler in 2008, and then I was able to go back to school, get my education, do this is what I wanted to do. And in 2013, I gave birth to the NSP Performance Academy.
Great presentation. Of course, I love the fact that you are working with young people, young athletes. I have a couple of questions for you. For your corporate clients, is your cost, well, first of all, when you go to like Hathaway Brown and Bryan Stratton, are you charging them per athlete, or is it a built-in cost, session cost?
Yes, I have group session costs. So group session costs for, depending on the number, how many number of kids that are coming in, and how many sessions we want to have. For instance, group Hathaway Brown actually had 2 different sessions that they wanted because they had so many kids. So they had 2 different contracts that was kind of put into one. Hathaway Bryan Stratton, they actually just to do the strength and conditioning, but I'm actually going above and beyond that, and I'm helping them out with other things like block starts and all that kind of stuff as well. So I just can't say no to kids. With that which is basically a contract, so it comes straight from Bryan Stratton. They send a check straight to my house, and yeah, it's just a separate thing that it is for individual athletes.
Okay. And then for what is the regular cost for a parent that may just say, "Hey, can you work with my kid for strength conditioning?" Is it the monthly fee of
Yes.
X amount of dollars, or is it the session fee?
So what it is, I have a session fee for you to do drop-in session. Drop-in session usually only happens on time because once they get the experience, they want to become a part of the program. So that's usually a monthly fee, and I usually try to tell them to at least commit for at least 3 months so I can get the most maximum out of your child. So basically that is that usually most of my programs will last at least 3 months.
And then how long do you retain clients that you've seen in the last couple of years with those ones that you tell that you want them to commit to at least 3 months? Do they continue with you, or like what's the average amount of time that a client stays with you?
Until they graduate.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them stay until they graduate, and then thereafter, like right now, I'm coming up, I'm doing an expected influx because the kids are going to be coming back from college, and all of them come back to Trinity.
Now, as I look around the room, I'm sure there's a burning question in all your minds right now. Why applesauce? Well, I can tell you right now, applesauce was not my favorite food growing up, and my family does not own an apple orchard. So I'm just gonna, end that right now. The truth is, I always had an interest in entrepreneurship. And when I turned 15 years old, I was, doing raking leaves in the neighborhood for money, setting up lemonade stands. And I said, you know what? I want to make a legitimate company. And so I decided upon applesauce. It's a product loved by so many around the world, but always made the same with, added sugar as well as a baby food consistency. And so I actually went to my grandfather, a retired postal office worker who lived with us, and he was the cook of the household. And I said, hey, Grandpa, show me how to make applesauce. And so he actually showed me how to peel the fruit, cook it down, blend it, package it. And from there I said, you know what, I'm gonna make my own recipe. And so I spent a year trying new pieces of fruit, creating the recipe that we have to this day, apples, pears, and apple cider. Now, our products. We currently offer 3 flavors. We have original, an apple pie cinnamon, and a strawberry peach. And these flavors are available in 2 package types. So we have the 16-ounce glass jar and a 4-pack of convenient plastic 4-ounce cups. So we have a 2-year shelf life on all of our products. They don't have to be refrigerated. And then it currently costs us $2 per unit to produce our applesauce. And then some of our value propositions, what really makes us stand out, is the fact that our applesauce is, again, all natural. So we don't use any artificial preservatives like our competition, gluten-free, non-GMO, and vegan-friendly. And we're also certified as a minority business with the state of Ohio, which gives us an opportunity to bid for contracts. Now, consumers currently are spending up to $450 million annually in the U.S. just on applesauce. And 80% of that spend is actually on children. And so in order to reach these consumers, we've created partnerships with some of the largest retailers around Ohio: Heinen's, Whole Foods, Giant Eagle Market District, Kroger, Mark's, you name it. And so with that, it's really been a great opportunity for us to create credibility as well as get the product in as many hands as possible. And in total, we currently sell our applesauce in 300 retail locations available in 6 states throughout the Midwest. We also ship to 50 states.
The first question would be, how big is your firm? I mean, how many employees do you have? Are you the sole salesman getting to these distributors, into these stores? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Great question. Yeah, so currently I am the sole salesperson. I have been able to get in all those accounts just by cold calling. I create spreadsheets, I write down the buyers' names, I track them, color code it, and then from there, getting the product in their hands, following up, and then agreeing to the terms. And so with that, we've always been able to get yeses. We've always been able to get a lot of volume, but we've never really had the capital to keep up with that infrastructure. For example, Kroger, they put us in 100+ accounts throughout Columbus, but we don't have the personnel in Columbus. So, that was pretty tough to be able to actually achieve the revenue we wanted to out of that account. We also have a guy named David Pritchett. He's our head of operations. So it's him and 2 other labor workers that actually make all of the applesauce. And then Auditing Company does our marketing right now in Cleveland.
Well, good evening, and thank you guys for spending your evening with us. I know we are anticipating the winner of this big $10,000 check. Drum roll, please. And the winner is Low Key Entertainment.
It's your man Player T, that's me, Hollywood in the hood, doing it really big. I'm right here at Jumpstart Incorporated's event, Core City Cleaning and Impact Program. I'm right here with the winner of the Entrepreneur Showcase right here, Mr. Dewan Henderson, Low-Key Entertainment. How you doing, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm grateful.
Of course you are, man. Came into this event well prepared. Came with your information ready to spit fire. Let them know what you got going on.
They trained as well. It was an intense few months, yes.
12-week program.
Absolutely, man. Every single week it was something new. I didn't know the different aspects of the business that they taught us.
Now, of course, you woke up feeling like a winner. What do you think got you well prepared? Besides going through that 12-week program, what else is it about you that makes you a winner?
If I told you the truth, I may begin to cry. But to be honest, I lost my father a few months ago. So there was a lot of inspiration in that, just making sure that I can do something to make my father proud. So I put everything I had into this.
Going from a DJ to an entrepreneur, man, how did that happen?
Well, they're one and the same. Again, I think I started making $30 for my first gig. When I graduated from Kent State University, I think we were up to about $150 a gig. And then from there, I had to make a decision whether I was going to go into the workforce or was I going to try to work for myself. I took a gamble on myself. We rearranged our focus. We found the sweet spot of where people needed to be. We understood what they wanted and how they wanted to be treated. And the rest is history.
What was it about Jumpstart that got you to this point?
Well, first off, I was impressed with Jumpstart. I went to the Startup Scale-Up event. At the Startup Scale-Up event, I was just amazed. It was thousands of people all over the place. And from there, I saw what they did for friends of mine who were in the previous cohorts who ended up winning this competition as well. So they wowed me from the get-go. I knew what they were capable of doing. I knew where some of those individuals are now. And I just humbled myself. I stripped all egos and did whatever they said I needed to do.
Now, what's some of the first things you're looking to do with your newfound $10,000?
We have like a 3 or 4 point thrust. First, we absolutely need to invest in more equipment, which will create those more jobs. We're going to increase our marketing impact that we have going on, and we're going to start our mentoring program. So this is seed money that's going to buy the first couple rigs for the first couple DJs. That'll be part of this Low-Key Entertainment Academy.
Congratulations. Keep up the great work.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir.